Hi, I'm Marvin Jackson, and welcome once again to the Sideline Report. We are talking Washington football and the Super Bowl this evening. Joining us later by phone will be one of the best to wear the burgundy and gold, Brig Owens. But first, let's meet a very special panel of media and sports industry professionals who just happen to be women. Shennekia is a sports journalist, and she's also done some work with the Redskins on game days. Also, we have Mykell, who is the host of a weekly podcast,
Hello.
The Flex Zone. Welcome.
Hello.
And we have Alexia. Alexia is in corporate communications with the Washington Redskins, and we're going to talk about that with her a little bit later. And Nikki Lewis, sports journalist and a basketball coach, and we're going to talk to her about how she juggles that. So thanks for being here, ladies. Appreciate it. Now, before we start talking about football, you all are all women. So let's talk about a very special woman in sports, and that's Serena Williams. And what I'd like to know from you guys, she's playing lights out tennis. Seems like nobody can beat her. Is she the best female to ever play her sport? And the other thing that I want to throw out to you guys is, are there any other women who have totally dominated their sport the way she has? Start right here.
I think I'm gonna go the opposite of we put out a lot of names before we went on air, but let's talk about her dominance, not just in tennis, but in general when it comes to the Mount Rushmore of dominating athletes. Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and you talk about them in their different professions in basketball and hockey, and you talk about Dan Marino and that type of caliber.
Not just a woman.
She's up there. I mean, and if you look at last summer, it was the summer of women. You talk about the USA soccer team. You talk about her. You talk about Ronda Rousey. So I find it disrespectful that Mr. Mayweather didn't know who she was. They ran the world, and who can really stop her? And she only stopped herself last year. So.
Alexia?
I would also argue no one has dominated their sport, the way that she has. She has a national, international appeal. She's winning everything. You know, she has really transcended tennis, in my opinion, because you look at Serena, you see her guest starring on TV shows, movies. It's not just about tennis. So I would say the recognition that she has gotten from playing her sport, I don't think there's anyone that's on the same level.
I totally agree. I mean, right now, the only person that has had as many titles as she has is Steffi Graf. So Serena's at 21, Steffi's at 22. So you have one other person, but in the Australian Open right now, she's in the finals.
She'll get that one.
So she's going to get that one.
So she'll be tied with Steffi.
Yes, she will.
And most likely she's going to move past her.
She will. Federer had 18, Navratilova had 19. So she's proven that in tennis she is the best, and she's about to take that next spot.
The only other person I can think of that dominated their sport the way she has, he's not playing well anymore, Tiger Woods. He was that guy at one time.
And you look at longevity too. I mean, she started when she was young, and she's still in her prime. Like there's so many more years,
at 34.
right? For her, so
And not to mention,
And her sister is even. And I just want to piggyback off of, I agree, it's worldwide too. It's not just here, it's worldwide. When you think of women tennis, you think of Serena Williams. Venus and Serena
everybody
Williams.
knows she's recognized all over the world.
and you got to play, and you also got to look at our skin color as well. I mean, back to the beads.
Right.
We from Compton.
Yeah,
They got street cred.
Isn't that
And
amazing?
they
What
became commercial.
yeah.
They bought tennis to our homes.
Yeah.
Thanks to Mr. Williams. Huh? All right. Now let's talk about this football season here in Washington. What a difference a year made, right? And Alexia, you are with that franchise. Talk about that.
So I would say this was my first season, but the culture just around the team, you can tell that differences have been made. You know, I give a lot of credit to the coaches as well as the players, but I really want to pinpoint Scott McCloughan, the new GM. The guys that he's brought in, the guys that he drafted, I mean, I believe it was Mel Kiper who was saying that no other team in the league has really gotten out of their draft picks what the Redskins have gotten. So it's not just the play that's changing. I really think it's the culture and the atmosphere and the type of people that are being brought into the organization that it's really changing some things.
All right, and what do you ladies think about this difference? What happened all of a sudden?
I think we've come a long way, and a lot of people didn't expect this. You know, when you hear playoffs, the Redskins were in the playoffs this season. I mean, just no one expected it. So I agree with Alexia. It's, you know, it's a new feel, it's a new vibe.
Culture, maybe?
Yes, it's a different culture. People, you know, still complain about the name and everything like that. But I just think, just overall, as the season, you know, progressed, it just got better and better and better. You know, and I think next season we might have a good chance.
Well, it's kind of shaping up that way in the NFL East. I mean, NFC East, with the changing of the guard with Philly and New York and Dallas has their problems. So it looks pretty promising for the Washington Redskins. Did you want to say something, Mykell, about that?
I mean, I'm a fan, so I grew up in the area, and I cover them. So, man, 2012 them stretchy years was a long time coming. But so from a cultural aspect, it reinvigorated the city, and hopefully we can get the Wizards on the same time, and the whole city can be winning at the same time. But I mean, it goes back to Scott McCloughan, and the fact that, you know, finally we have someone that can put everybody in their places. I mean, we have Dan Snyder, he's the money man, and then you have somebody that's making the football decisions that's on the field, and we didn't go after any big names, and they stuck to the draft, and that's very important because we don't want another Albert Haynesworth. And when they started, when Julius Peppers was up on free agency, I was like, no, just chill, don't do it. And for once, they stuck to the game plan and honed everybody's skills. And Kirk Cousins, his maturation process, so it's been a wonderful thing.
Well, we got a big free agent list. There are about 16 people on that list, and that's a decision that has to be made pretty soon, right? As far as who.
Yeah, I know. I believe the franchise tag has to be named by March 7th, and then free agency begins March 9th. So a lot of big decisions coming out of the organization.
And I want to pose this question to you, ladies. Kirk Cousins, did he prove himself enough to get a multi-year contract, or should he get the franchise tag? Mykell?
Show him the money. I mean, come on, you have to. This man did it in such a humble way. I mean, it's not easy to go behind. And I was a big Robert Griffin III enthusiast, so when he sat down, I was like, come on, man, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even be talking about the Redskins. But at the same time, Kirk proved himself, he learned the system, and he showed that he deserves a full season. He deserves a shot to take, from worst to first, to be at first, to stay at first. He deserves that chance.
Are both the wide receivers coming back? They both have pretty big price tags.
Man, do what you gotta do to keep Jordan Reed.
Jordan Reed, that's the main guy, right?
One of the best tight ends in the NFC.
Okay.
If not third behind, Gronkowski and, But he's proven his chops fully, and you still got Pierre Garçon. And our problem was not our wide receivers. Our problem was establishing the run with it.
Right.
So we keep those.
And I'm sure they'll be working on that in the off season as far as the offensive scheme. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we will chat with Redskins royalty, Mr. Brig Owens, and we'll be talking Super Bowl, folks. So stay with us. We'll be right back.